My name is Tyrone with the Dividend Stock King with another video. And today we'll talk about these high yield ETFs are fantastic, or just dividend investing. The concept of dividend investing is fantastic. Owning a stock or ETF, just by owning it and holding it in your brokerage account, the company will pay you as a shareholder income, right? And the concept of dividend investing, I started this back in 2020. So I've been doing this for 5.5 years now. And like I say, one of the best things I've done with my money for buying something to invest is investing in dividend stocks and ETFs. The concept of owning something that pays you income while you're holding it is fantastic. And we're very grateful and blessed to have these high yield funds. I was buying Main Street Capital, SPHD, Horizon, ARR, REITs, O, and the issue was these things are, some are expensive, and the yield's like 4 or 5, maybe 10%, and they paid monthly, which is fine. But they're companies, and companies, they can suspend a dividend and cut dividends, and I was investing in those, and my goal was to make $500 a month. That's it. Cause my monthly bills, like my water, maybe 200 or more, and then my phone bill's 100, and the internet 60. So I'm thinking $500 a month will cover those three bills easily. If something were to happen, now I'm making that per week. I want to thank God for these funds because these funds are game changing funds. These funds change the game in investing, especially for people who look. I want passive income, and back then, dividend stocks was not really talked about. Number one. And number two, the only way to get passive income is to buy assets like I run a property. As a preaching, run a property all the time for passive income. And that was the main thing people preached. They didn't preach about owning bonds. Crypto was on the scene, but wasn't really on the scene for passive income. Running out your stuff that you own was the only way to get passive income. There are probably other ways I'm thinking about or don't know about, but the main thing that people were driving back maybe 15 years ago was getting rental property, buying houses and flipping, doing wholesaling, and running out apartment complexes and houses. That was the only way to become a millionaire and get passive income. But now, if you don't want to deal with tenants, if you don't want to deal with land and repairs, if you don't want to deal with real estate at all, you could just own these funds here. You could open a Robinhood account, whatever account. You can open up an account and buy these funds and buy these funds here. You could buy and own these funds, and they'll pay you a dividend not monthly but every week. And now it's to a point that they have an ETF for every day of the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They have ETF pay on one of those days. So if you want to pay it on Tuesdays, you can pay on Tuesdays. If you can pay your paycheck on Monday from your job, and you want to get paycheck on Monday and Friday, you can set that up. There are ETFs out there that pays on Mondays and Fridays and Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now they have ETF that pays twice a week. They have a fund that pays you on Monday and Thursday, twice per week. So these funds are amazing. Are they going to disappear in 15, 20 years? In my personal opinion, I'm not getting financial advice. I don't think so, because they're making new funds. People are pouring into these funds. A lot of people are just dripping these funds. So I don't think so. I don't really think so. I mean, these funds are game changers. If you don't want to do real estate and you don't want to start a business and you have a great job, you could actually own these funds right now. For me, right now, with 4 to 5,000 investing as dividends in my money, right now I make about $500 a week. Because Alti pays gives me about $280. YMAX gives you about $20 to $30. That's $300 right there. And look at Tesla and Coney, 1,000 shares apiece. If they pay 10 cents, That's $200 a piece. That's $500 right there. Plus with Misty, plus TSYY, I consider that. Plus AIYY, Murney, AMDY, and NVIDIA. So I'm basically getting $500 a week, every single week, not a month. My goal was to get there per month. That was $5 a month. That's pretty good. Now I'm getting that every single. I'm making more than that every week. Last week I made $700, $719 last week. But I'm averaging an average. Like my base number, my base number is $500 a week. At least $500. I'm gonna get at least $500 a week. So that's amazing. And look at what it's 100% passive. I do nothing to get the income. I do nothing. I do nothing. It's fantastic. It is fantastic. I love it. I love these funds. I love it. It's passive income. Guess what? I can still work 2 jobs and still own these funds. I could go into real estate. If I want to, I go into real estate. Now I can go into real estate and have these funds on drip. And every week I get paid $500. It gets dripped back into the fund. That's amazing. And the best part about these funds are, unlike real estate, when let's say you got to run a property and you get your tenant to pay you and they pay you the rent, and that rent covers the mortgage and the rest is yours. Let's say you have $400 from that payment the tenant pays you. Well, you can't put that back into the house and make more money. That rent is set to whatever number you agree to. But with dividend investing, it's not like that. With dividend investing, if I have $400, right, I get $400 a week. I could put it back into the market. Let's say I don't need the money this week because it's only 1 week. I can literally put that money back into the market and I make more money the following week because you get more shares. That's what I like about these funds. That's what I love about these funds. These funds are fantastic for that, for dividend investing. If they're fantastic for compounding your growth, because you really can't compound a rental property. The only way your rental property goes up is with the market. And the market, real estate goes about 5, maybe 6, 8% a year. When you're buying an ETF that pays you, like UOTY pays you an 80% yield, and they pay you a dividend, and you reinvest that dividend back into it, that money that $280, that $400 that you earn from the ETF goes back into it. It's earning another 80% yield. So unlike a house, when you get a rental property, you can't put the money into the house, right? You can't fix the house up and charge the tenant more money. You know, if you agree to a year lease, you have to stick to that payment plan, that rent for the whole year, unless you increase your rent for the next year or when that lease breaks or your new tenant. But with this, you can pay weekly. So I love these funds. They're great for people who don't want to invest a whole lot of money, who wants a passive income but don't have the money for a down payment for a house or the connections. You can literally start with $10, $20 and be okay. So I'm a huge fan of these funds. These funds are amazing, in my opinion. These funds are great. And also like these funds are, you could get your kids involved in these funds. You go over the brokerage account for your custodial account for your kids. They get involved in these funds. My 2 sons, they're involved in high yield funds. They have REITs and they have business development companies. They have some health companies as well. They have EPR, that does like movie theaters. They have all that exposure, but they also have these funds as well, because the compounding growth is just insane for a young person. So I have these funds in my Roth because, again, the compounding effect of these funds are crazy for 20 years. Let's think of UOTY. You have 100 shares, and for 20 years, you drip that into a Roth IRA for 20 years. You took nothing distributions out. You just dripped it. And the price has gone down. And when the price goes down, you get more shares, and those shares turn into more money. So just think of the compounding effect. So these funds are great. So if you want to get into real estate but you can't, these are a great tool to use also. And I'm in them. I probably buy these funds for a very long time that I'm stopping. And also, I do want to get into real estate to diversify my portfolio. I'd have like maybe 1 or 2 rental properties, because once you're making $500 a week and it goes to like $1,000 a week, you don't need that many rental properties. If you get like 2, that'll be fine. 2 rental properties is just fine for anybody. So my name is Ty for the Dividend Stock King. Thanks for watching.